What's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
There's two short guards who are making a hell of an impact this season, named Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland.
Yeah,
two
those guys were
6'1".
No way.
Yeah, they're both
6'3".
6'1". And
No, because Donovan Mitchell's taller.
we still have the best defense in the league, but it's because of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
Well, let me see.
To start off, let's just put it like this. This whole conversation is about Sal and I were just talking about how Trae Young for the Atlanta Hawks may be up for trade. And
Reggie don't like him. He got his friend fired.
I'm not gonna say he got my friend fired, but he definitely he didn't help. Right? He didn't help.
He didn't help keep it.
He didn't help. I think
both the Cavs guards are 6'1".
Yeah, but when you look at, so that means Darius Garland is actually shorter, because I just saw a picture of them standing next to each other, and Donovan Mitchell's looks like he's like 2 inches taller.
Maybe he had taller shoes on.
2 inches?
Maybe he was wearing lifts.
Wearing lifts.
Maybe he was going to do burlesque that night.
I think Donovan Mitchell is 6'3", and I think Darius Garland.
No, you're. I looked it up. Look it up. They're both 6'1", dude.
It's not. I don't believe that.
I think you just think that because he's bigger and like wider, stronger, and Garland is like thinner. But
thinner always looks longer. It's like an optical illusion.
Not with him though. Right? It's weird. He's like a tarantula moving around.
Who? See, thinner always looks okay.
Well,
either way it goes, yeah. But either way it goes,
what's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie. I hate Trae Young Steele.
Oh my goodness! And welcome to Spitballin. I do not hate Trae Young. I don't hate. First off, let me just go ahead and say this. First and foremost, I don't hate anybody or anything. Right? The word hate is not in my vocabulary, bro. Have you ever heard the saying that hate is more corrosive to the container that holds it than the object is directed at?
Damn.
Yo, sure. No. That's how I live my life, bro. Anybody who's talking about they hate something, it's like whatever you're hating, it does not feel the impact of your hate as much as your body does. Even saying the word gives me the willies. I'm like, ugh, it's all negative. So
what, saying you never say it ever?
No.
Why?
Because it's a negative word, man. Negative energetically, negative consciously, subconsciously. Like I just said, the word hate is more corrosive to the container that holds it than the object it's directed at. So energetically speaking, it's not a word I partake in. So when you say, because you say it all the time, Reg hates this and Reg hates that. And I'm so the opposite of hate. I'm all about love, bro. I'm about the LOVE. Love.
Oh man.
There you go. So you got your sentimental moment in. I know you're happy about that. Your music moment.
Yeah, I had to fit it in. I'm always too slow on it. But
you tried to set me up. You're like, what say, Reg? No, but real quick, in regards to Trae Young, all I was saying is that he hasn't done enough to make these demands on this team that he's been on, right? The team that drafted him. He's a small guard, and history does not favor small guards. There have been two small guards that have done really well, as far as maybe three. I'll say John Stockton, Allen Iverson, and Isaiah Thomas. Yeah. And Isaiah Thomas won 2 back-to-back.
It could have been a third, but he hurt his leg that one game.
Okay, well, that's part of the game. But yeah, so he had his 2 back-to-back. Allen Iverson had one finals appearance, and John Stockton had 2 finals appearances and never won. So I'm just saying history does not favor the small guards in regards to going all the way. So for Trae Young to be making demands on teams, it's just he hasn't done enough. He hasn't taken the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, your lighting is all crazy, bro.
Did you get a new ring light?
Nope. I
What is
got
it? A
a
lamp on you?
I got a lamp with no shade on it right now.
It looks really good. It makes it mine orange as a motherfucker.
Yeah. For the people who can't see or who aren't watching,
I didn't even
Sal's
put up the
lighting right
last
now.
one because I was on the road.
Oh, so our
No, I
last
put it up, but I didn't put up the video. The last thing I put up is the YouTube video because it takes the longest to fucking do.
okay.
And like I got it all cut up, but then I was on the island. I was living that island, like I was on the treasure island, and the Wi-Fi there wasn't the best. And I'm like, I'm not gonna try and upload an hour video on a YouTube. It's
Okay.
like it'll take forever.
It'll take forever. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
But
watched
I put the audio up that morning. The audio, if anyone ever for nobody probably would want to hear it right away. But if there is somebody out there who needs to hear it, the first quickest way would be on the Apple Spotify audio version.
Okay. Okay. That's good. I listened to our Esther Steinberg episode.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
You watch it?
Esther was shout out to Esther Steinberg, man. If you're listening and you haven't
She's
watched that
not.
episode,
No
she is funny, bro. She is really funny.
Mhm.
She had a lot to say. So it was fun watching it. And yeah. So shout out to
It's a
Esther
good product. It's good product.
Yeah. Yeah. So all right, dude. So Sal was in the Bay. Well, hold on. Let me just finish this Trey Young rant.
No, I thought you were done. You don't like that he complained.
I'm like, there's all these young guys that have this sense of entitlement. It's like the world at large. Young people who think they deserve something that they haven't earned, something they haven't worked hard enough for. Now look, he's in the NBA. He was drafted by this team. He's worked hard to get to this point, but now at this level, he hasn't done enough to make the demands that he's put on this organization. That's all I'm saying. And so
if we're
talking
going to
about trading him, they're talking about trading him. I'm like, yeah, let him go. You've already let two really good coaches go for this dude, and he still hasn't panned out. He hasn't gotten you to the Eastern Conference Finals. You got one playoff win. He hasn't gotten you anything.
They beat the Knicks. Who did they lose to? I forgot who they lost to that year.
I don't know, but it wasn't. I feel like this. Whoever they beat, it wasn't enough for him to make the demands that he's made. So,
well, if we were to talk NBA, look at who fell apart. It was the Mavericks, bro. Add in Kyrie Irving and Luka, and they still blew it. And then looks like they lost that game on purpose so they could keep a round pick, and now they're in investigation because they sat them both. Like it was an advantage for them to stay locked into the seeding they were in. And then yeah, man. So who knows, dude? Kyrie could leave whenever. Luka could leave eventually if he wants. Next year, I think he's got another year.
Yo, if Luka, I would say this. I think, you let Kyrie go, whatever. He was fun for a short while. And you keep Luka. Luka's your franchise guy. That's his organization.
Unless he wants to leave.
Dude, if he's smart, I say let Kyrie go, build solely around Luka, get the pieces that he needs for him to excel, because he's proven he's a star. The dude is a star, right? That's his team. Why let him go? If anything, let Kyrie go. Kyrie's already proven to be a headache. He was in Cleveland, then he was in Boston, then he's in Brooklyn, and now he's in Dallas. He's a headache.
He's going everywhere.
Dude, he is. He's a once in a lifetime. He's a generational talent, no doubt about it. But he hasn't been able to prove that he can do anything. In Cleveland, prior to LeBron showing up, he was just a really good guard that was on a losing team. Yeah. And then with LeBron, who brings another level of, another tier of playing, right, and excellence to a team, he was able to have some big moments. He got a championship. Then he got an attitude problem. Then he went to Boston and he messed that up. And then he forced his way out of Boston, went to Brooklyn. He and Kevin Durant and James Harden made all kind of demands to come together, do a thing, had a lot of potential. Didn't live up to the potential.
He wouldn't get vaccinated, so he's gone for a year.
So then he's like, he got his issues with medication. And look, I'm not mad at him, because now with everything that's come out about all that stuff, yeah, I think the whole world jumped the gun just a little bit, but that's the nature of life.
What do you mean they jumped a gun? They didn't jump no gun. What you talking about?
Come on, man. Everything that all the mandates that were put in place, you got to do this, you got to do that. People losing their jobs because they didn't want to do a thing. And now all those companies are backtracking like, okay, well, boosters are no longer mandated or
Well, at the
required.
time,
It-
there was no protection. Now everybody's a little
it-
more protected. It's less
dude,
of a risk.
and that's what I'm saying is that
But at that time, no, it wasn't. You should have been. If you're going to go into office with all these other people, like they don't want you infecting them. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I still think that it was a little. I think it was a bit much.
All
Enough
right, so
time hadn't passed for
here's
them to
the
know. So build around
here's
Luca is what I'm saying.
here's the so here's another thing about the Mavs. Brunson, they let him go, and
Right.
now he's on the Knicks, and that's who the Cavs are going to get. So here's the bracket. Cavs are fourth, Knicks are fifth. So they'll be playing each other. Sixers are third, Nets are sixth. They'll be playing each other. Now the whole play-in thing, though, oh boy, it's so confusing. So that's where we got to start. So the play-ins are what? Bulls, Raptors, Heat, Hawks, Lakers, T-Wolves,
Minnesota, yeah,
Pelicans, OKC. I didn't know OKC was in.
yeah. OKC, hey man, Michael Shea Gillis. This kid has been balling.
Good for
They've been
him.
questioning. They've been questioning whether the Clippers should have let him go for Paul George. Paul George is not even available for this first round right now.
Not even the first round, which will be for a while still. Not till later in the week, I believe.
Yeah, they're saying that he's not available for the playoffs.
Wow.
Okay, the Hawks got the 8th seed in the East, and so now they're playing for the.
So yeah, so it's
seventh
kind of
seed.
confusing. Like if you're in the 7 and 8, if you lose, then you play the winner of the 9 and 10. But if you win, you go on to the 7th seed.
Yes.
So yeah, if you're 7-8, you can lose one. Where if you're 9 to 10, you can't lose. You have to win.
Right. I mean, and look, this is pretty nice for the Bulls and the Raptors to be able to get an opportunity. I mean, they have a couple good games in a row. Then all of a sudden, a team like for the Bulls, for a team that's basically on the outside of the playoffs, if they have a good game, then they could they could potentially still get into
What do
the
you think?
playoffs.
What are you thinking about? So you think the Lakers going to crush the T-Wolves?
I don't know if they're going to crush them, but I think the Lakers should win that game. And plus,
Yeah.
the T-Wolves just lost one of their best defenders because in a moment of frustration, this dude is leaving the game.
Oh, right.
And on his way out, he punches the wall and he fractures his hand. He breaks his hand, so now he's out for the playoffs.
Wait, is it Rudy Gobert on the T-Wolves?
Yes.
Did you see him when he punched that guy, his teammate?
Yeah, Kyle Anderson. Hey, man, all I'm saying is going
Shit's
into the
falling
playoffs,
apart, man.
it's the wrong time to be doing. If you want to do that shit at like the 13th game. You don't do it on the 82nd game when you're getting ready for the playoffs and you need momentum, right? You need gelling. You need to be playing well together. It's like, it's a bad look. And plus the last regular season game, then you want to hit your teammate. But hey, props to this kid that was on the bench. I forget his name. But when Rudy Gobert reaches across and kind of pushes Kyle Anderson, this one dude jumped up off the Minnesota bench like, yo, like he was ready to go. All the other dudes were like, hey, man, what's going on? This dude was like, he was like, don't you hit my dude? He came in. I was like, Kyle, that's your boy. Kyle should be giving that dude a watch.
That shit is crazy, man.
Yeah, give him a watch and on the back say, thanks for watching my back. So,
all right, so then what do you think of Cavs Knicks then? We'll close on that.
I think it should be a good series. I mean,
Cavs should have that though, right?
Well, let me think. I mean, based on star power, that's really what it comes down to.
We lost the last game to them. I think Mitchell put up like 40, Brunson put up like 48, but we didn't have Jared Allen in that game, so that's a big difference.
Okay.
And we didn't have him last year at the end, and that kind of hurt us. So hopefully he'll be back, and hopefully he'll be full power and we'll be good.
Okay.
But
well, let's see. You got
they didn't have what's their other star? Who's the other star?
Brunson and Randall.
They didn't have Randall. Yeah.
Right. So I'm thinking of Brunson and Randall versus Mitchell and Garland. And I mean, who's your third? Mobley, Jared?
Yeah, no, Mobley's been pretty good.
Mobley's been pretty good. So, and I'm looking at the positions. Brunson's a point guard. Garland's a point guard. Donovan Mitchell's a small 2, right? And Julius Randle.
Hey, man, we got the best defense in the league, son.
Yeah, and I think
that's statistically ranked to number 1 D.
So. I think the big fellas in the paint can Julius a hard time. Julius is tough though. Julius is
You
tough.
know, who's tough too is
He's
Joel
mean.
Embiid. Joel Embiid beats the crap out of Evan Mobley. Like he needs to hit the gym this year
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
offseason because Joel Embiid's a beast, man. He
Joel
just
Embiid,
rocks over
he's a
people.
big dude who's not afraid to use his size and his
Uh-uh.
weight, right? He throws it around. Julius Randle is like 6'9", but he's mean. Like it's not so much that he's a
And he can
big
shoot
guy. He can
from
shoot
distance.
it, and he's a lefty, but he's like aggressively mean. Like it's one thing to get a rebound, but he's like rebounding at elbow. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out who cancels who out. I'll make it quick. Julius Randle, Mobley, or Jarrett. The edge goes to Julius because he's a scorer and a rebounder. So then it's going to come down to Brunson and Mitchell, and the edge goes to Mitchell. So I think it's probably.
But then we got also Garland, and then who's their other one? Who's their third?
RJ Barrett, maybe, but he's proven to be inconsistent.
Right.
So,
yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's a
so
good
I think
series.
the Cavs,
But the Cavs have a home court advantage, so that's huge because
Okay.
we've had an amazing record at home. So
I say it probably should go 5, and the Cavs should win
the first
tight game.
No, the first round. Yeah, it's all 7 though, right? Yeah, it's best of
Is it
7.
all 7 now?
Yeah, man. What the hell?
That's right. Oh my goodness. So it doesn't go
It's
7.
so stupid. They just stretch it all
Yeah.
out. The play-ins aren't, but whatever,
Yeah.
dude.
So in that case, then it doesn't go 7. It goes 6. Cavs and 6.
All right, there it
Cavs
is.
Cavs and
I'll
5.
take them in 6. I think maybe in
Cavs
6.
and 6. Cavs.
I
and
think.
6.
I mean, Knicks are good, man. They're no joke.
Yeah, Cavs and 6. So I'll give you that. You're my dude, so I'll give you. I'll go with your squad.
Oh man. So yeah, I saw my dude Reggie this week.
Yes,
In the
sir.
flesh, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I did the last show, and
Saturday night, late show Saturday.
This
boy.
The Clay like kind of messed up my intro. Like he totally forgot everything, and he just kind of made stuff up as he's bringing me up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but it was fine. And then I go and grab the mic, and I go to say something, and I hit my tooth, bro. And like, there's a little video.
Did you chip your tooth?
No, I didn't chip it, thank God. But
okay.
I've definitely reflexed back, and like I'm like, and then I even touch it, and then like someone in the crowd's like, "You hit your tooth! He hit his tooth!" And everybody's like, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to play it off, but now I can't." And I wanted to rip on Clay, but I can't because I hurt my tooth.
Oh boy, the spontaneous moments in comedy. What I need to know is this:
it hurts.
What was
your tooth?
Yeah, but I need to know this. What was your intro? What's your intro?
To Gotham Comedy Live and the Spitballin podcast.
He's been saying that all week. He's been saying that.
I know, and then the last one he forgets.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I know, it was so weird.
2 shows Friday, and on the late show Saturday, he forgets to say.
Well, he would alternate them usually. He wouldn't do them both in one. He'd alternate them. And it's funny, man. I've learned you just say Spitballin podcast because at one time I was like saying Spitball with Sal and Reggie, but it's easy if you say it like that, but they don't say it like that. They're like, that was podcast, Spitballin podcast with him and Reggie Steele. And then you're like, what's he coming up? What's going
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's just like, it's too much.
It's too much. So I'll say this. That's a very simple intro. And when push comes to shove and you forget, and this is for all comics who are listening right now, who are at the early stages of their career, it's important to remember the person's intro. But if you forget, you can always go with the standard, tried and true. He's a favorite here.
Just here. Yeah.
He's a favorite here. Give it up for Sal Kalani. Boom. Because the one thing I learned a long time ago, I think Bill Bellamy told me this because I was opening for him. It was me and Esau McGraw, who's funny as hell, and Bill Bellamy. And I'm like, hey, Bill, what do you want me to say? Because I'm like, how to be a player and Any Given Sunday and Def Comedy Jam, you know what I mean? Like MTV, VJ or whatever, like all kinds of. And he was like, man, look, it don't really matter what you say because regardless of what you say, I still gotta be funny.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, all right, well, he's like, just keep it simple. And so I just said, you know him from How to Be a Player and MTV, Give It Up for Bill Bellamy. Right. And then he went out and killed. And so I think for me at that point, it really started that really kind of laid down the foundation or the groundwork of like, Yeah, you can throw out all your credits. Comics Unleashed and Comedy.tv and Nick Mob's Night Out and
Yeah,
even
it's too
Selected
much.
Ones,
Yeah,
right? You can throw out all that stuff. Nobody's probably seen it. And all you're doing is building up your the anticipation. And you better come out and be funny. Because if you say all that shit and you ain't funny,
yeah.
they'd be like, what? They just giving away credits? Right? To anybody? Like, oh shit. So
Man, I
well,
gotta say, San Francisco, man, the food got expensive out there, man. You go get some, like, I went to the House of Nanking, like that Chinese restaurant, right?
right.
It's classic, but man, dude, you roll in there. I was like, all right, let me get sesame chicken. $18.
You're like, that's gonna be the whole chicken, right?
I was like,
Like,
it's
I'm
just
gonna
me eating.
get
And then
$18.
I got something else on top of it. And then next thing you know, it's like $35. And it's just you. And
Wow.
without booze. There's no
Without
booze.
booze.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Hey man, do you
damn,
understand
dude.
that you're paying that that sesame chicken? It wasn't just the chicken and sesame seed. You also paid for the House of Nanking name, right? Like,
Yeah, that's really, they've definitely taken advantage of that name now. They're like, yo,
yes,
we survived a pandemic. Fuck y'all. We're gonna
exactly. And then the best part is that the restaurant, the Chinese restaurant right next door, I mean, the one door, the next door is also the same.
So you told me this.
Yes, it's owned by this. It's owned by the House of Nanking, right? It was like it kind of was billed as their like overflow, but they give it a different
Oh,
name. But the chef is the brother of the chef at the House of Nanking. It's all the same food, bro. But
that's funny.
the prices are exponentially less because it's not the House of Nanking, right?
That's funny.
So because when I
Yeah,
used to
well, I
do the
felt
Purple
for,
Onion,
and
I used to go to that spot.
it's not like the chicken is like big old perfect pieces either. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, man,
Yeah.
man.
Wait. For $18, I'm gonna need the
I
whole
know,
chicken.
dude. I need to, yeah, man.
I'm gonna need the feet and the head. Bring the whole thing.
I
Feathers.
want to see it.
Exactly. Bring me the feathers in a bag. I can make a pillow at home, right? Like I'm gonna need the whole thing.
Yeah,
Right?
it was, yeah.
Goose down. This is gonna be chicken down. Chicken.
Yeah, it's yeah. And then I was staying on Treasure Island, and there's only like I go to this little breakfast place. There's only one really there, but same deal, man. It's like, oh, you want breakfast sandwich? All right, $14.
Good Lord.
And I'm like, it's just a
Yes.
sandwich with
I
egg and
know.
bacon, man.
For $14, you can go to the store and buy all those ingredients and
Yeah, I
make
went a couple times. I'd walk over because I'm staying. I'm buddy. They got no, two single dudes. They no real food and stuff. I don't want to mess with their food, their stuff. I'll walk to the grocery store and get hoagies and shit. But it's nice. They're walking distance of a grocery store, which is pretty
okay.
helpful, man.
That's good.
Especially on that island. But the whole place, there's so much construction up in San Francisco now. They're getting rid of all the nature, and there's not even really nature, but like there's a few trees up at Treasure Island, and I saw a raccoon when I came home the one day, and then I'm walking around. He's up in the tree the next day, and I'm
Wait,
like, and
there's
they're
a
gonna take.
raccoon?
Yeah, in Treasure Island, we're gonna take all that out though. Treasure Island is looking like they're putting up all these little fancy small condo like apartments.
Okay, so this is what I need to ask. I need to figure this out. How does a raccoon end up on
I know. I was wondering on the island.
on Yerba Buena and Treasure Island? All right, they're specifically islands, and they're both connected by bridges on both
Mm-hmm.
sides. So that means
Mm-hmm.
either a raccoon had to traverse a bridge at night to get to the island,
Which is a
or he
long distance
it's a
too.
long distance, or he caught a ride on a boat, or somebody brought a raccoon over and just let it go.
Well, I mean,
On
here's the thing. I mean, it's just one time it happened. Who knows when? Because the bridge has been there since the 30s. So it could have happened. And then they just have their kids there. You know what I mean? So there could be some raccoons that never left that island. Have only known
yeah,
the island.
yeah, that's true. I mean, but it's not a whole lot over there.
But
The good
no
thing,
matter
people.
when it happened, there at some time a raccoon had to either cross the water or cross on a bridge or get on a boat or something. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't know. You're right though.
yeah. How does a raccoon end up on the island? Well, I mean, good thing they're people because they eat is garbage anyway. So I'm sure on Treasure Island, they're just in everybody's garbage,
You know what
eating
though?
your leftover
It
sesame
was kind
seed
of a
chicken.
small little raccoon where I've been in raccoons in the city because I used to live next to a park. And I one time was parking my car and there was like a couple raccoons, like two of them. And these motherfuckers, like little Wolverines, they looked big, right? Like they ate good on the garbage in this area.
Oh,
And
dude.
so, and then like I was following them and I was like, move. and they went,
Oh yeah.
dude, they got so big, and I was like, all right, I'll cross the street.
Yep. I remember there were some times coming in late night. There's like a family of raccoons. They come up out of the sewer, right?
Wow, like the Ninja
And
Turtles.
yeah,
And they already got those eye bands.
they got the little dude, they would come up out of the sewer and it'd be like a whole family of them. It's like a big one, then another big one, and then like smaller ones. And I'd be coming in late, parking wherever, walking a half a mile, right? And freaking not a half a mile, but like a quarter of a mile. And freaking raccoons out hanging out. Dude, I straight up would stop and wait. I'm like, nah, y'all go ahead. I'm good. I'm gonna hang back. Because there's no way that I would ever charge a raccoon because they never just run away. They literally go like
No,
this.
man.
They kind of look and they just it's almost like they're challenging you on some like most animals, most wild animals, if you see them and you kind of come toward them and they're like, all right, man, I'm out of here. Raccoons, they contemplate. They're like, man, this smoke. Yo, who this dude think he is, man? It's 5 of us, bro. And then they stand up and do a whole thing. It's like, yeah, nah, I'm good, bro.
Here, I'll
Like,
show you this video of the raccoon I took. See what
you took a picture of the raccoon?
No, a video.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it's the baby. That's funny.
Yeah,
He was
maybe he
looking
is
at
a
you.
smaller one.
Yeah, he's the baby.
He looked like a medium though. Yeah, it wasn't huge, but
Yeah, he's a baby.
but
He's
he
a
too, when I was getting out of the car, like I was like, all right, get out of here. He was like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, no, I'm going this way, bro. Relax.
Yeah. Raccoons don't play, man. So anybody out there listening, you see a raccoon, I suggest you just let them do what they're gonna do and then go, because they will attack your ass.
Yeah,
They don't
mess around, man.
Yeah, they're not afraid.
And it's funny, like they wash their little hands before they eat and stuff.
I don't like that either. Like little animals that have like was it like human properties?
Yeah,
right. Like little fingers and hands. Like you see them do a thing like this. Like, I don't like that. Then they be grabbing the little cat food, eating it, looking around. Man, I feel like I'm getting my Tony Baker on right now. Like, hey, Playboy, let me get some of that. That's some good cat food. What you got over there? Got a little water. Let me get some of that. Look, they eating that joint like cookies and milk.
Yeah.
So,
well, I told you how there was someone here who feeds like the skunk, feeds the cats, and then I came out and there was a skunk one time and he was eating it, and I was like, oh shit, and he started like kind of running at me. And I ran the other way, dude. But he's really running to go around the bungalow. But I was like, he's headed towards my direction.
Dude, see, if you were a real comic, you would have stood there and got
took
sprayed.
it. Yeah,
and took it.
story.
So you'd have a story about getting sprayed by a skunk.
Just sit there, pull out a notebook while he sprays me in the face.
Hey, yo, real quick, I want to show you something. This just came up on my phone.
Rudy Gobert suspended versus Lakers. Wow. Well, you have to. He punched his teammate in the face.
Yeah.
Now he just cost them the game.
He hurt his team. He's hurt his team. And he's a veteran. He's been around for a long time. He knows better than that. But okay. All right, man. Well, yeah, man. If he was a real comic, I remember one time I went to go see Hannibal Buress in San Francisco. And he and Stroy Moyd, shout out to Stroy Moyd, with his hella funny comedy in the Bay Area doing this thing. He and Stroy Moy were friends. And yeah, they're actually pretty close. So I'm hanging out after the show. I think Stroy was there and Stroy had to cut out or whatever, but I'm hanging out, get to meet Hannibal, talk to him a little bit. And he was he basically was like, yo, can I get a ride? Right. And or he was looking for a ride, and I was like, yo, I got you, because I'm about to head out anyway. So he basically, I drove him to the Potrero district in San Francisco, to a party that he just heard somebody talking about. Not a party that he was invited to. He overheard some people talking about this party or this function that was going to be at the Potrero at this particular bar. And he's like, yeah, I want to go to this party. I was like, oh, cool. You know somebody in the city? He was like, nah. I just heard some people talking about it. I just want to go see what's up. He's like, this is how you get comedy. Like, this is how you get good stories.
Wow.
I literally dropped this dude off at a bar in the Potrero for a party that he did not know anybody at. and he was
That's
walking in
funny.
to get stories, right? And I'm like, all right, that's a level of commitment that I just wasn't there yet. Like I never got to that point. Right.
I should have let that skunk spray me.
Dude, you'd have a great story. How many people do you know that's ever been sprayed by a skunk?
Well, whoever has, it's usually not a good story.
It's
Usually,
not.
they like it sucked.
Well, hold up though. You already
Why
got a
can't I
story.
just pretend that it? Can't I just interview someone who has been and steal it?
It's not the same. I mean, you got a great story about your cat spraying in your ear, right?
No, that shit happened. That
Right.
sucked.
And then walking down the street, and now all the cats in the neighborhood trying to fuck.
Yeah, I love saying that, but now, like someone they asked, you got to do a clean set. How do I do that? I guess try to bang. It stops, man. Can we
Nah,
get
you can't.
over it? Well, you got to
No.
say something. What do I want to say?
Well, hold up. Who said you got to do a clean set?
I got a clean set coming up. So what do I have to do for that joke? How are you gonna make
Okay.
that clean?
Well, it's I mean, I think when you described that the cat sprays you, it's like they sprayed you with their pheromones.
Right. I
Right.
had pheromones in my collar for weeks. Couldn't
There
leave
you
the
go.
house. The strays up and down Sunset Boulevard trying to.
Yeah, exactly. So all you got to say now is you just change it around. It's not even got to be they trying to fuck. It's like I got sprayed with pheromones, and now my collar smells like We said I got sprayed, and now my collar smells like pheromones for
Yeah, I
a
had
week.
pheromones in my collar for weeks.
I got pheromones in my collar for weeks. I'm walking down. I got
Can't leave the house.
I can't leave the house. I got stray cats in my DMs, right? Like I got cats following me to my apartment, stray cats in my DMs, like I'm getting
No, dude, no. I just need to replace the word. I don't want to
man,
replace.
because you can't replace. You don't want to replace the word,
Trying to bone.
trying to bone, trying to bang. No, you got to be more creative. I think it's funnier in.
Well, now you want me to change the whole the punch.
Yeah, but I think it would be funnier instead of just saying because
Slipping in the DMs ain't funny,
dude. Cats trying to slip into your DMs. Everybody knows what that implies. Pheromones, cats trying to get to know you better. I got cats following me to the house, bringing rats to my door, dropping off mice and birds.
Strays
right?
up and down Sunset Boulevard trying to fuck. I like that line.
But it's so basic, right? It's like,
my god,
dude, it is. It's so basic. Think about this. This is the difference between Marvin Gaye and The Weeknd. Marvin Gaye is like,
I'm
let's
telling you,
get it
man,
on.
DMs ain't gonna hit as hard.
Dude, all I'm saying is not about necessarily the word itself, but it's the image that you create, right? It's the image that these cats are like. Now you got pheromones in your collar for weeks. I got stray cats in my DMs. They're trying to every door I go into, there's a cat opening up for me, right? Like it's implying that they're trying to woo you in a certain way.
Well,
because
now you're just saying to add to it. I could just add to it. I see.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Trying to hook up. And then
Yeah.
you could add. All right.
If you want to go hook up, okay, fine. I got cats trying to hook up. They're in my DMs.
There you
opening
go.
doors.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we'll keep it the Sal way. So, folks, this is what you just experienced right now. This is the writing process, especially with Sal and I. It's always Sal has a thing that he wants to say phonically, right? A perfect penis picture. And I'm like, Sal, just go with dick pic. He's like, nah. I like the P.
I like the alliteration.
I like the alliteration, the perfect penis picture. And I'm like, yo, don't go through my phone. You might see my perfect dick pic.
Yeah.
Sal wants to,
not
exactly.
as funny.
It makes me laugh. I think the other thing in comedy, folks, if you're listening, harsh consonants always hit harder.
So funny. That's so weird, but it's true.
Harsh consonants always hit harder. And for any comics listening or anybody listening, comedy is always in the details. The humor is in the details. For example, it is funnier. It's if I say, yo, I got hit by a car, people kind of go, oh, damn. But if I say I got hit by a Buick, that's just fun. I got hit by a Chrysler.
Yeah, right? That's true.
It's funnier, right? So it's like, and I try to remind young people all the time, I'm like, yo, comedy's in the details. So that's why I'm like, it's in this regard to the cat, I think it's funnier with the details of slipping into your DMs, bringing gifts to your door, right? Like trying to do things versus trying to fuck. I got cats trying to fuck. I got cats trying to bone, trying to bang. But if you want to go there, then you got to use every version of it.
Well, then I also do. Let's see. Then you forget. There's also a callback in that joke to my other cat. Yeah, you know what I mean. This is my big. We all right. We enough of that. We talked enough about. What are we gonna do? I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. They're like, oh, I know about this.
I would have ruined it, but I do like the idea that this is the last thing. I do like the idea that if you were to go, even if you did if this wasn't a clean set and you just did, cats trying to fuck, right? And you wanted to keep going, I think it'd be funny if cats trying to fuck, bone, bang, bump uglies, doodle nasty, right? Like just keep going and come up with like every version of the same word, right?
Mhm.
And I'm kind of in this place now where, especially I've been watching these shows recently where it's an animated show called Royal Crackers, and it's really funny. David Bory is one of the voices on the podcast. Shout out to David Bory, another San Francisco-based comic who's kind of out doing this thing. But he's the voice of one of the characters. But they've done a really good job of creating these scenes where they will hold a joke, like they'll do a joke and it's funny, and then they'll keep holding it till it's not funny, and then it's funny again because they've held it for so long.
Yes.
Right. So I'm kind of in that idea of like, yo, let's do a thing where it's funny and then keep going till it's not funny, and then keep going to the next point where it's funny again because it's going on for so long.
You know who used to do that a lot was The Simpsons, man. That's a big Simpsons thing. And here, I'll show you an example of that if I can.
I gotta get a new ring light, bro.
Who, me?
No, me.
Oh yeah. I mean, me too, but okay, so
I'm dark on here. I'm like, ooh, let's get it. You can't even see my goatee. I'm so dark. If anybody watching, you can see that. Anybody listening, my goatee is black and my skin is black. It's just, you can't, whatever, you gotta see it.
All right, does this work? All right, here we go. Watch this. Come on. You still hear it?
You still hear it.
That's exactly that. That was over 30 seconds.
What was it? What was the setup for that? Why was he under a car, and then why was he stepping on brakes on purpose? Like
he was under the car because he's following the Simpsons to their new home. It's like in the third, fourth, fifth season. I don't remember, but he's following them to their so he's like gonna kill Bart, so they go hide.
He's gonna kill Bart?
Yeah, Sideshow Bob always trying to kill Bart.
Oh, I never watched The Simpsons like that.
What the fuck?
I didn't know that.
Dude, you don't know about Sideshow Bob?
Nah.
Killing me, Reg.
I only know some of the characters' names. Millhouse, I think that's the little kid with the glasses.
Oh my god, dude!
And how are we even
Ned friends? Flanders. I got it tatted on my arm. How are we friends? Okay, so
I know the show.
Kelsey Grammer. So Sideshow Bob, the original. I think it was like the first season. He sets up Krusty the Clown. He dresses up like him and robs the Quickie Mart. And Bart and Lisa cracked the case, and they figure it out. So then Sideshow Bob gets put in jail, and then Sideshow Bob. Almost every season, but they kind of every other season he'd come out, and then the next one he tried to marry. He married his aunt Selma, and then
he married his auntie. His own aunt?
He married Bart's aunt Selma.
Oh, okay.
And then he tried to kill her, and that they caught him. And then he tries. Then he gets out. And he tries to kill Bart, and the family knows he's out. So then they go off to another place to try and hide. Under
I didn't realize that Simpsons
Secret Service,
protective services or whatever.
Yeah. So then he goes off, but then Bob ties himself to the car, but it's funny, they're like driving, and Homer's like, he's like, oh, who wants to cut through the cactus patch? And the kids are like, yes. And then you hear no. And Homer goes 2-1. The yeses have it. And then he drives through, not even realizing someone under the car.
That's hilarious. That's funny. I didn't realize The Simpsons was a comedy / murder mystery.
Oh, it's great. And then another time, Sideshow Bob, Rush Limbaugh was on it, and he's like a total. He gets Sideshow Bob released from prison, and then he's hanging out with all the Republicans, which are like Mr. Burns, the Texan guy.
Okay. Wow.
There's Dracula. There's like some vampire there.
Dude, I Yeah, my Simpson knowledge is
Definitely hurting, it
yeah,
seems.
it's yeah, I only watched it early when it was like a little short for the Gary Shandling show or the
That's what you watched it when it was on
when it was just a short with Tracy Ullman show.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, Reggie.
That's when it first started. And then when it came on, I just never watched it. I've never watched the Simpsons consistently ever.
That's insane.
Man, I had other
Well,
stuff going
you have
on.
to watch just watch seasons 4 and 5, dude. They're the best.
Okay. I just had other stuff going on, man. I didn't have time to be sitting around watching TV all the time. Your boy
Well,
was
now
getting
you
shots
do.
up.
Now you do.
Boy was getting shots up. I was writing papers, man. I'm like writing papers and doing research, trying to
Oh
type up my
man.
own papers, right? Like I didn't have time to be sitting around watching TV all the time.
Hey,
But
so you got
okay,
a guest for next week? Who you got, Reg?
I don't have a guest. I
I
don't
should
have.
ask. I'll ask this filmmaker. We'll ask Chris Voss.
Yeah, let's reach out for boss.
All right, and
That would
then
be
you try
great.
and get someone the following week.
Okay, I was man, I
I
would
see
love to
Roy
get.
Wood's gonna do he's gonna run a weekend on the Daily Show. He's gonna host it now.
He's
Because
already did it. He just did it.
oh, he did it. Oh no, Michael Costa's about to do it. That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
is.
Roy just finished his week. It was great.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw some of it. And dude, he's just so funny. He's so
Yeah.
talented. And he's been on the show for a long time, so he knows the tone of the show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's got great chops. Comedy
I
chops.
figured he'd be the guy to go to. I think in this, I think he
I
might be the
think
favorite, but I don't know when do they make this decision.
I don't know. I think right now it seems like they're really just having fun,
Yeah.
like getting different people to do it. And who knows? They may just keep not have a solid host and just kind of
Right.
keep like a rotating door of people. I mean, would you, if you're on that show and you get the opportunity that they're like, okay, being on the show, we're gonna let everyone on the show host once, get at least 1 week every 6 months, right? So you get your 2 weeks a year also while being on the show with other guest hosts. Would you want to do that, or would you just want to have one host locked in with their particular style? Because I think you run the risk of like, if it's Chelsea Handler, she's who she is. Her style is going to be her style, and if you don't like her, but I guess you run that risk with anybody who.
Yeah, I mean, I feel kind of that's like what the audience will eventually want is one same stable host.
Yeah, or what if you
I
just
mean,
get
that's what all shows are mostly,
yeah, but what if you get a stable of hosts? You get like five
I mean, you'll
that you
see.
rotate
It
through.
hasn't really worked yet, but no one really tries it, so maybe it's
Yeah,
not a
like,
bad idea.
or maybe you have a host a month. What if you get like
Eh.
six? Yeah, you get six hosts. Everyone gets a month, right? And you
Reggie's
get your
creating
top
his own
six.
daily show.
I'm just saying, man, because look, I think Chelsea Handler brought something unique to the table, but I don't know if I want to watch her all the time. I think Sarah Silverman brought something unique to the table. I don't think I want to watch her all the time. I think Roy brought something. I think Roy brought himself to the table, and I love Roy. I could watch Roy all the time. But that's me. But in case somebody else doesn't feel the same, Hassan Minhaj, he brought something to the table. But I don't think I'd want to watch him the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'd like to rotate it, right?
Right.
Um, yeah. So I don't know, man. We'll see. But I was thinking about Roy, but man, his star is climbing so high, so rapidly. He got so much going on. I think it'd be hard to try to squeeze him in, but he's still down to do it. He said he's down. It's just about scheduling.
All right. Well, you on that then? Schedule that.
Yo, I hate having these conversations on the thing. We shouldn't have this conversation. This should be off-air conversation.
Man, what is this? I got this thing from my man, they charged me $75 in taxes for this rental car. What the fuck? That's insane,
I
man.
know. It's like you just work for free.
I might as well. I hate this business. All right.
Yeah. Well, no,
all right,
Esther,
wrap us up, Reg.
that's what Esther was talking about. That's why I was gonna. Yeah, she mentioned that this business, there's no HR, right? There's no one that you can complain to. There's no guarantees, and you're hustling, just trying to make it happen.
I got to get plane tickets, put them on a credit card. Hopefully, then you get the money back from the thing. Ah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Well, shout out to Kelsey Cook this past week. I got to meet her. She's really funny. I thought she was funny. Shout out to Sal. You did a great job too. I thought you were funny. It was funny. It was that one
Shout
joke.
out to Kelsey Grammer, who is Sideshow Bob.
Shout out to Kelsey Grammer. Yo, man, it was funny watching you because there was a point where, when you're featuring set, where you started off strong, everything's going well. And then this is what happened folks. Sal started off strong with his feature set. It was going well. And then he hits this one joke about getting hives. He did
Oh
this
yeah, the
hives
hives
joke.
didn't hit.
The
I wasn't
hives,
feeling it at that moment.
dude, the hives didn't hit. It didn't hit so hard, right? It didn't hit so hard that I was starting to get worried. I was like, oh man,
This motherfucker.
I was like, I hope he can dig himself out of this hole. I was like,
But
oh,
I dug out with the little strays trying to
there you go. Yeah, he dug himself out of it. And it was nice to see him recover and keep it
all
going.
right, full rappers, dig us out of this ending.
Oh, but hold up, one more thing. The other thing is, I think one of your strengths, man, watching you is, obviously you have this science background, being a biology major at Cleveland State. So research is not foreign to you. So it's like, I think one of the strengths that you have is when you start to delve into like the history of you go into the history of this saying or the history of this thing.
Oh yeah.
And you bring in the actual factual historical aspects of it with the funny. Hey, dude, I think that's honestly.
That's why I like talk about cuckoo birds this
Yes.
week. And they were loving it at the weekend shows.
It's like we get to laugh and learn, right?
Now let me ask, can I do a joke like that in like a rural ass red state?
Probably not.
Well, because you didn't even think about it.
Because it's a pro life joke. I mean, it's a pro choice joke, not a pro life, but a pro choice joke.
But I do it with in the eyes of a cuckoo bird.
Yeah, but then you say, so in all those southern states, it's some hypocrites. I don't see you guys going after the cuckoo bird, right? So yeah, it's if you're in where you headed next? You're in Nebraska?
Yeah.
Headed to Nebraska.
I don't know, never done. I'm worried.
Oh, dude, you'll be fine. I don't know if I go hard on
no cuckoo bird.
I'm just saying, you look.
All right, what about the lettuce? Trump and the lettuce.
Jeez.
No, I did that in Southern Oregon and they were fine with it. So I think I could do that one.
Okay.
Man, I can't not say my, whatever.
Hey, look, this is what I was gonna say. You can't compromise yourself in your artistry. It's either you like me or you don't like me. But you can't bend to everybody's will just based on where they are, right? Because you'll find yourself becoming a chameleon trying to fit what you think people want. Right.
Fuck all that. Right.
Exactly. But I will say this. I say you do your set, and then based on how they respond. Now, if you're just being a smart entertainer and performer, then you go, all right, I've done this joke a couple times. This area, it doesn't work. So,
right.
Yeah. So then I stopped doing that joke because it doesn't work. Not because I'm trying to compromise my artistry or anything. It's just like, okay, I want to have a good set. If these things aren't working in this area, then there's no point in doing it. And that'd be the same thing with, if you did your family material and you're like, my brother dying of cancer doesn't hit, then I guess, maybe I should just drop that joke for this week.
Right. Yeah, I didn't do it at all the whole week.
You did it on the headlining set, though.
Yeah, that was the only time I did it, and I wanted to work on it. But then, like, Kelsey Cook has a joke about her mom having dementia, and it was really like good. And like, you're like, oh, okay. I love when people can talk about shit that ain't supposed to be funny and make it, because then people can relate, and a lot of people go through this kind of stuff. And then, yeah, it's nice to, and the few times I have done it, like when I did it in SAC, I had a couple people appreciated that I did it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right,
dementia and cancer are two different things.
No, they're both not good.
Yeah, they're not good, but man, cancer just hit hard.
They're both sad, dog.
They're both sad. Last thing. If you ever want to hear a guy or listen to a guy talk about some really serious things and still be able to make it funny, Christopher Titus.
All right, yeah.
I don't know if anybody else in the business has done it as well as him and as consistently as he has. So Christopher Titus. All right. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in.
Didn't he have a joke about like his girlfriend punching him and he getting arrested or something?
Dude, I really go into, you've been saying wrap us up, Reg,
well, you brought it up.
And then I start to wrap up and you're like, well, hold up. Did he have a joke about his girlfriend?
Yeah, I remember it was real serious shit. All right.
Wait, what is it? Wait, what was it? A joke about his girlfriend doing what?
I thought there was like, he was getting hit or something, and then the police showed up. Like, it was some real serious, funny shit he did. And you're telling me you saw him in San Jose?
No, it was San Francisco. San
Okay.
Francisco, with Sammy Safer back in the day. And we got to go backstage and I got to meet him, talk to him
Oh,
directly.
wow.
But at that show, he talked about his dad, as he described him, his dad being a womanizing, misogynistic alcoholic.
Oh, yeah, his dad. That's right.
Yeah, his dad who got married 6 times. And
Wow.
his mom, who was a borderline personality disorder, schizophrenic, who had killed 2 of her husbands due to domestic violence and then committed suicide.
Jesus. Wow. No wonder you said that's a good suggestion for dark.
Dude, she was married to his dad, got a divorce, got remarried. The husband was abusive. She killed him, got away with it because it was self-defense, got married again. He was abusive. She killed him. And at this point, I think she got away with it, but they were kind of like, all right, we got to really delve into this. And then she ended up killing herself.
Jesus Christ.
And he talked about all that. And I'm sitting there like, I'm talking about you digging a hole with the hives.
Yeah, there's nothing compared to that.
Right? I was sitting there with an audience of people who were just like, we were shocked and like devastated and sad and this whole thing. And what he did was, which I think is brilliant, he'd established these very distinct characters. His dad was established as the guy who would say anything, who just had no respect, like almost not necessarily shock value, but just kind of like he just said stuff. And then he created him, and he was himself as Christopher Titus, who was in this situation where he's watching his dad, and then he created his mom, and he created a distinct character for her. So at any given time when he's talking about a thing, if he's talking about what she's saying, it's her saying it. If he's talking about what his dad's saying, it's his dad saying it. And then he's the person in the middle who's witnessing and relaying the information. So when he talks about his mom having killed these 2 people and committed suicide, and as a child and as his mother who's devastated and experienced this really awful thing, and we feel for him, and he creates this tension in the room, then at that moment where the tension is building and we're just like, oh man, this is a real moment. Like this is some sad shit. Then out comes his dad, who says, he goes, yeah, Dad, Mom killed herself. Right. And the whole audience is just like, oh. Because we've been listening to this whole show about how his childhood was and what his parents were like. And we're like, oh. And his dad goes, well, it's about time she took responsibility for her actions. Dude, when I say the whole audience, the collective sigh of relief, we were like, oh, because it was so in tune with who his dad was and who he had established his dad to be. So in that moment, when the tension is building and we're sad, we can't believe she did this thing, and we feel sorry for him, and he's telling his dad about his ex-wife and his mom and what she did, and the dad is like, well, it's we're just like,
man, wow.
Dude,
I mean, that's the thing. You take it all the way as down as possible, then you could still,
yes, dude. It was just like, it was, you talk about an applause break, the whole crowd was like, what?
That's funny, man.
Right. And then I talked to him after the show, and it was like, yeah, I'm a comic, I'm just getting started. And I even asked him, I said, man, you really talk about some really intense topics, and you talk about a lot of personal things. I'm like, how do you do that? And he goes, first off, you can't talk about something that you haven't processed personally. So that's rule number 1, right? If it's too close to you, you can't talk about it, right? Because emotionally you'll be a wreck. And then I said, and I said, and how do you, like, what's your writing style? He's like, well, what I like to do is I just like to write out the story completely, right? What happened. And then I go back and then I edit and I interject my ideas, my opinions, or perspective about things. So, or my POV. So it's like writing out the actual story, what it is. And then as I'm going through, then interjecting, laughing, which is what writers do. Writers write out the story, like they send it to comics to punch it up. Like, okay, here's the story. And then, all right, well, in this situation, Sal's walking down the street and he sees a cat eating food. That's actually what happened. Well, where's the joke? Then the cat came up to Sal and sprayed him. And then now what happened? Sal, So yeah, I was like, all right, that was the beginning of like learning how to tell stories in a certain way. where it's like, oh, you can actually talk about some really serious things if you are far enough away from it, right?
Right. Yeah. Like I had to wait a while before I could talk about my brother and stuff.
Right.
And then when I did my dad, like I had to stop for a while and then bring it back.
Right. You
So,
need a time to process.
Right.
So absolutely. So yeah, man. All right. Well, that's it. That was pretty intense. But Christopher Titus killed it, man. That moment he became one of my favorites as far as like just a guy who was funny and
he's good
and real, grounded, right? So all right. So now it's official. Should I wrap us up, Sal?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, all right, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know it was a little loose and we're all over the place, but it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. We love it. We're going to keep doing it. And if you enjoy us, please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back next week. Look forward to seeing you or have you listen to us. That's Sal Kalani.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Reggie Steele. And this is Spitballin. Peace.